Hey everyone, welcome to my painting diary, chapter 26, and we're in March already. Bloody in hell, this year has gone fast. Anyway, so I've been up to some more painting goodness, and I've got a couple of things to show you, so let's get straight into it. So first of all, what you're looking at here is 4 Egyptian gods for a board game coming to Kickstarter soon. I can't remember what the game is called. Is it Osiris? I can't remember. It's from Ellicat Games. These are 4 characters from the game. You got Bastet, the Pharaoh, Set, and who is this again? Was it Osiris? I think it was Osiris. Yeah, Osiris, something like that. Anyway, so these are. I don't know anything about the game or what they do in the game. All I know is they sent me these figures, and they wanted a specific color schemes and so on to go with the figures. So they sent me some art direction, and they are now done. And we'll go back to them, and they'll be using them in the Kickstarter and for demo purposes at Expo, I imagine, and those type of things. These are 3D printed figures, as you can tell, green resin. They were pretty decent actually. You could tell from some of the I'm not sure what they were printed with, but you can, if you look closely, you could probably see the printing lines on these on some of the flatter areas. But for the most part, I was pretty decently impressed with these. They came out alright, and there's nothing much to say about them. There were lots of golds, whites, reds involved in the game, in the figure, in the colors. I kept the basing very simple because obviously this is for a board game, so there wasn't a lot of scope for sort of a lot of elaborate basing or anything like that. And that's that. So these 4 guys are going back, and we can have a look at the next thing. Alright, next up is some War Games Atlantic, World War I Japanese, and Boxer Rebellion, I believe. I'm not super up on these particular periods. I don't know a lot about what happened and all that sort of stuff. So this was pretty tough to do in terms of I had to really look up closely at the color schemes and so on, and a couple of bits and pieces. But for the most part, these are pretty much done. I still need to add a flag to the banner bearer, which I'll print off. But you got officers, and then various poses. You've got a bugler, you've got a guy marching. I'm always a sucker for a guy marching. Ooh, crap. So I did 8 of these Japanese guys in the World War I kits. 4 of them have these what do you call these? I can't remember what they're called now, but you guys all know these little hats with the dust rags at the back, keep their necks clear, and then 4 of them without, and then you got these 4 with the Boxer Rebellion colors, another chief or captain or whatever. And these ones are obviously a lot more brighter. They got the yellow banding around the cuffs and hats, and these ones had the red. And obviously the box set comes with a variety of heads and details. These aren't actually the plastic ones that you'll get in the box set. These are actually resin ones that I've 3D printed to get the figures done for the box art that will coming in the future. So these are going to go back. Well, these are going to be photographed and touched up, and then photographed, sent back to War Games Atlantic, and then you guys will be happy enough to see them come, I don't know, in about a year or so, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, these were actually really interesting. Really tough job because I wasn't familiar with the period and stuff like that. So whenever I feel at least, whenever you're not familiar with a period or a faction or anything like that, you have less confidence in what you're doing. I'm constantly rechecking photos and stuff like that to make sure that I've not painted something wrong. You got, like, for example, Oh, god damn, I keep dropping this one. You got, like, for example, these little cloths going, like the bedroll type things going across them like that. So most of the artwork that I had to look at only had the one bedroll going across like it, not two. So the one I've made obviously the same color as the straps around their boots, and that was also the same color that they were done in most of the photography that I've seen. But they didn't have a second one. But a lot of the other artwork was depicted with some with this sort of creamy color and some with a grey color. So I decided to go with the one of each. So that's like the type of thing that you know when you're painting it, and you check with the customers as well, and when they go, oh, just do what you feel is right, and that you're like, oh my god, this is so much pressure. Anyway, this is done now, and I'm pretty happy with them. I don't know what you guys think. You can comment below and let me know. You can also tell me where I've gone wrong, and well, with swiftness, we'll move on to something else. Right, so this one I'm a little more familiar with, as this is fantasy, and it's my own army, so it's fine. But these are some more offerings for my Empire army. So these were things that I've had built for a while, or some of it is at least, and I decided to get some more paint on them and get them to the table hopefully soon. So let's start off with this fellow over here. So this is a battle standard bearer for my Empire army. This is a model, I think it's a standard bearer from the Teutonic Guard, from the Cult of Ulrich and the Middenheim army. I just like the model. I thought it was, at the time when I picked this up, I reckon I was looking at it as a battle standard bearer, and I didn't really care too much at the time that this is a completely different faction, if you like. I know it's still Empire, but this is the Cult of Middenheim, and that's the Middenheim badge on the top there. Whereas I'm doing Averland, and the Averland's badge is a sun or symbol. But I think the reason why I talked myself into this is because all my infantry have this cross on them, sort of the Middenheim cross, if you like. And I just kind of figure, fluff-wise, we can call this guy, his name is Steve, but everyone calls him Ulrich because of his devotion to the Cult of Ulrich, whereas everyone else in the Averland army is devoted to Sigmar. Anyway, so it's just a solid model. I painted it in the Averland color schemes. There's a couple more bits I still probably would add to it, like some sort of scrolling on the scroll artwork, bits and pieces like that. But for now, when I get to all the fine details later, I'm just getting them tabletop ready. For now, that guy's good to go. These guys over here, now this is slightly more interesting. These were my conversions I did many years ago for my Knights of the Blazing Sun. So obviously the Knights of the Blazing Sun is a very apt unit for an Averland army, especially as the sun motif. So when I did this many years ago, I obviously had the idea of using the Blood Angels at the time they came out, and they had like these I can't remember what the honor guard are they called? I don't know. They look like angels basically, surprisingly, being blood angels. I thought their heads would look really cool on the knight bodies. I used these Bretonnian lances because they come with the banners attached at the time, like that. I've got these cloaks, which I have no idea where I got these cloaks from, but I added the cloaks on the back to give them a flowing look. Obviously used the Empire horses and most of the Empire body and stuff like that. Now 6 or 7 years later, now that I've painted them, I'm not actually all that keen on I don't know, I don't know, they look fine. I mean, they look, also I put the Empire spear shields on them as opposed to something else, but I did a quick job on these, got them painted. I was toying with the idea of maybe putting a sun motif on the back here, but they don't look very Knights of the Blazing Sun. They look like, well, especially the way I've painted them. I painted one of them many years ago, and he's horribly painted, but I left him just as is because I thought, It's, you know, I did this a long time ago. Why change it? Just leave it. You'll be fine. I only got 9 of them, and I normally have my knight units in 10. So I have the Grandmaster, which I haven't done yet. I'll just show you guys it. Here's the Grandmaster, the Knights of the Blazing Sun. So now I'm deciding, I'm toying with the idea, do I paint him up like a Knights of the Blazing Sun? And use this, as I was thinking I could use them as maybe the Knights of the Golden Lion. And then instead of putting a sun on the motif, maybe do a lion in the back there, something like that. Which I think would make more sense, because that's kind of more in terms of you got the golden lion helm there, and I don't know, it just now that it's 6 or 7 years later and my motives have changed, I guess it's just something I've been toying with, like what do I do with that? What do you guys think? Comment below with what you think. That's also why I haven't put a banner top on here yet, because and obviously painted any symbology on the banners, because I have no idea where I'm going with this. It's yeah, the theme wise or army wise, I'm not too bothered about that. They painted, they're in the army, they got similar basing, whether they're Knights of the Blazing Sun or Knights of the Golden Lion or whatever, that's just aesthetics. That makes no difference. They're knights. If they're joined by a Grandmaster, you know, they're just Knights of Inner Circle or whatever, which becomes core. But you know, I could add a Warrior Priest as well to make them 10th instead. All that is just sort of semantics, really. It's just for my own, you know, saneness, or whether or not I want to use this as what I thought I was going to use them for, or just another unit of knights. I was thinking before I started painting them, the Death Knights of More. It's more look, you know, these helmets that they got are proper evil looking. So I was thinking maybe I should make them sort of purple. And anyway, I'm rambling now. But there you go. They are done for the most part, and will be used in battle reports as such. Talking about or the other dilemma is of Lost Sword, which is where I got this from. They do some excellent knights for the Empire Army, including Knights of the Blazing Sun. So that's where I think one of my thought processes has gone. Anyway, let's move on. This is a Paymaster wagon. It's 3D printed from Lost Sword. And why did I print this? Why did I want this? I can't tell you. I just wanted it. So I kind of use it for objectives, or you could even use it as a unit filler. Like you stick this in the middle of the unit, have 2 ranks on either side of it going down there, and you got a big unit filler for the middle of the army. I probably won't use it that often for that. But I will probably use it for objectives, for scenarios, that type of thing. Nice little Paymaster wagon. It also comes with a halfling Paymaster, but he's going to go into a different army. I got 2 of these, in fact. I've only painted the 1 so far, and that will go into my army as miscellaneous. Anyway, so those are my new offerings for my Empire army. I got one more thing to show you for this painting diary video, and then I'm done mumbling and rambling. So let's get to that. So the final thing to show you this week, as the sun creeps ever closer to the miniatures, is these Rising Sun miniatures. So Rising Sun is a board game from CMON. These are one of the expansions that came from that game. This is, as I believe, is not going to be used for Rising Sun. It's used in a sort of a samurai, Japanese themed roleplay game. What that roleplay game is, I don't know. And these are also, I would say, 90% done. The reason why I'm showing you them now is because by the time I do the next painting diary, I won't have them here anymore. So I thought I'd show you, as they're pretty much done. I just got a few more details to add to them, and then they will be on their way. So you got 7 figures here. They're definitely fantasy-esque rather than, you know, traditional samurai. I mean, but they are pretty decent figures. I mean, this guy was really cool, very flowing, big, you know, I don't know what this sort of Oni or something like that, with lots of robes flowing around him. This guy, he's like an archer or something, but look how tall he is with his, like, lifting above with the robes. And you got this big ass drummer, all the drums on his back. Pretty cool. And a couple of sort of ghostly kind of guys. I mean, this guy, he's practically dead, and I painted him as such. They did come with some art cards, which I used to follow a little bit of a painting scheme for them. But I did have free reign to do a little bit more or less, depending on what, it wasn't like, it's not going to be used for the board game. I don't even think he has the board game. He's using it for the role play, as I said, and he just said, go to town on them. So I followed the cards for the most part, as all, and I was saying about them being 90% done. I got a few more bits and pieces to do on them. Like, for example, I think it's like this guy over here. He's got some flowers painted on his robes, so it's not just plain white. I think this one has got something similar. So I'm going to be doing little finer details just to finish this off, and this will be going sometime this week, just before Aircon. So yeah, there you go. So this is quite a variety of stuff if you look at it. I mean, we had those 4 Egyptian gods, we had World War One Japanese, we had Warhammer Fantasy Empire, we got some Asian themed mythical stuff. This guy was cool, fun to paint as well. So yeah, a little bit of a mixture of things. That's pretty much me done for this diary. It is dragging on a bit. Sorry about that. There's quite a lot to show you guys, and I had quite a lot of bits to say. Well, here we go. So that's my diary for this week done. I hope you guys got some inspiration out of that, and I'd love to see keep watching all your guys' videos and anyone else on the Facebook pages and stuff. It's always good seeing other people's art, painting and stuff like that. You get real sort of enthused, well, at least I do. You get enthused by seeing people's projects and things like that, and it helps you motivate to do yourself, to do your own projects. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm rambling again. I'll see you guys later. Bye.